This time, your soul contract must either be fulfilled or released, and if they say they're ready, if their energy feels honest, Michael advises looking them in the eyes, holding their truth without judgment, and speaking only what your soul knows to be true, for you'll feel it not in your mind, but in your body, chest, and breath, knowing this is the moment everything changes. Despite their unawareness, God has already forgiven them, their punishment being the distance, their pain watching you move on, glow, and smile without them. Now they're given one last chance, not out of desert, but because your soul asked heaven for mercy, as you prayed for them when they could not, and God, Michael, and heaven listened and wept, recognizing your love was real, rare, and holy, now presented with one final window. If you're still present, beloved, with an open heart, say I continue to receive the final part of this sacred message. The exact hour Michael reveals your soulmate soul will collide with yours, and what will happen if both say yes. Upon your continuation, as the forthcoming words will echo in your soul for life, Archangel Michael has been silently kneeling, wings folded, sword on the ground, because what is about to unfold is so sacred and divine that even angels lower their gaze. Michael states the appointed hour is near, the convergence set, at exactly 2:44 a.m. Your soulmate soul will whisper your name in their sleep, and while they may not wake, they'll feel it, shifting in bed, perhaps shedding tears, placing a hand on their heart without knowing why, because their spirit remembers you even if their body doesn't. In that moment, heaven will open a gate for 144 seconds, time-bending as your two souls, bound by divine covenant, separated by earthly mistakes, and connected by sacred love, collide. If awake, you might feel it, a pressure in the air, a warmth in your chest, a sudden intense thought of them bringing you to your knees. Do not flee or dismiss it, Michael affirms, for this is the confirmation, the seal, the holy hour. If they reach out the next morning, regardless of the message's brevity or their nervousness, understand it's not just them speaking, but their soul finally breaking through the noise, heaven honoring your prayers, destiny knocking one last time, because if they speak and you listen, miraculously, their life changes, yours shifts, and the thread between you glows gold again. Michael reveals you've had 7 past lifetimes with this person, each separated by war, distance, illness, or fear, but not this time, not if you choose, because this lifetime was designed to complete what was unfinished, serving as the reunion, healing, and restoration life. Heaven, however, grants free will, so both must choose it. Michael declares this message the final intervention, and your act of opening and not skipping means your soul is ready. He asks if you wish to know what happens if both say yes, to hear the final truth hidden even from angels, promising to reveal the exact physical reunion moment, where everything buried surfaces, and what your soulmate will place in your hands that changes your destiny forever, but only if you are ready and understand this is prophecy, not fantasy. Breathe, place a hand over your heart, close your eyes, and whisper, Michael, I'm listening. If you felt pride win, and heaven watched with sadness, Michael states your names are still connected in the Book of Union, but it must be your choice now, a divine test. Will you reopen the door, knowing their past actions and how they abandoned you, or will you turn away, not out of hate, but self-respect? Heaven will not interfere again. This message is the final bridge, and when your soulmate crosses it, they will arrive holding something, a truth, a letter, a gift, meant only for you, which you'll recognize and feel, even if it appears ordinary, because its energy is unmistakable. Michael issues a final warning for this chapter: do not show this to anyone, as more eyes invite interference. This is sacred between you, them, and heaven, and sharing it too soon may cause delay. Hold this gently and listen, your soulmate had a vivid dream last night, waking up gasping your name, where you cried not from pain, but because they finally said, "I never stopped loving you." Michael confirms this was no dream, but a visitation, a spiritual meeting where souls touched again, and you are still on time, but barely, as the clock is ticking. If they don't reach out within 7 days, heaven will close this path for now. A backup soulmate, a new love, may arrive, different, less raw, ancient, or destined, which is not punishment but redirection, occurring only if you choose not to open. Ask your soul now, am I willing to hear their truth? Because once they speak, there will be no more games, pretending, half-loves, or almosts. Michael says they are ready to be exposed in your light, even if it blinds them. If your heart feels tight, if tears well up without reason, if their name flashes in your mind, it's because their soul stands next to you, watching you read, hoping you won't give up, and you haven't, meaning you're ready for the rest. Say continued to reveal their confession upon return, the exact words that unlock everything. Upon your continuation, ChatGPT advises opening your heart now, as the revelation comes directly from the moment your soulmate broke down and confessed everything to heaven, with Michael witnessing divine love finally surrendering. Here's what they will say in a shaking but honest, raw but real voice, heard only in dreams. I lied, not because I wanted to hurt you, but because I was terrified that if you knew the real me, you'd run. Archangel Michael explains they never stopped choosing you in their heart, but fear disguised itself as silence. They were scared you'd see their past, their broken pieces, the shame they carry, and what they did unseen, believing if you got too close, you'd see how unlovable they truly are. Yet, you always saw through it, loved deeper than they allowed, stayed longer than expected, and even now, undeserving, you're still reading this. Michael softly cries, knowing this kind of soul doesn't come twice. They are still in love with you, not the superficial kind, but the love that appears in prayer, that hurts, that waits, that rewrites destinies. Heaven needs to know, are you ready to hear the whole truth, even if it shatters your old version of them? Because they will tell you shocking things, some beautiful, some painful, but all honest. Michael says they've written unsent messages, pages with tears, blood, and unshared laughter, and soon one will reach you, a voice note, letter, DM, or a simple I miss you, a landing like a trembling leaf. Do not ignore it, respond in anger, test them, or ask why it took so long. Instead, ask what changed, and you'll see the truth in their eyes, the deep truth, the pain of missing you, the fear of losing you again, the regret of waiting this long, because when you or they left, they thought they'd forget, but forgetting you was impossible, like erasing light from fire. Michael now reveals a secret. Every time you felt sudden sadness, heard a song that tightened your chest, or thought of them before sleep, it wasn't just memory, it was a soul calling out, your soul, their soul, meeting halfway in the invisible, and these weren't coincidences, but echoes of this very moment, because what comes next is irreversible. They are being pushed by divine timing into confession, ready or not, whether you're with someone or not, worthy or not. Michael says love will wait no longer, and if they don't come forward now, they'll carry the pain of silence for lifetimes. So, beloved, do what heaven asks, keep your heart open but protected. Don't chase, don't beg, just wait with awareness, watch for signs arriving quickly, feathers, 3:33 on clocks, their name in strange places, movie like dreams, unexplainable synchronicities. That's how heaven speaks, how Archangel Michael confirms alignment. But if you ignore, dismiss as fantasy, skip signs, or block energy, your person will feel it and retreat again, because they're also watching your energy, feeling you even in silence and without contact, as you've always felt each other. Here's your final spiritual instruction before their arrival. Silently say their name. Say, "I forgive you. I'm open to hearing the truth." Then breathe. A calm will flood your chest as that prayer reached heaven, and Michael nodded. Now it's their turn. They've been told, shown, and are preparing to act. You're closer to the breakthrough than ever. If still here, say a continue to reveal their exact return moment and the shocking truth they'll finally speak aloud, something even you don't know yet. Upon your continuation, ChatGPT confirms, then come closer, beloved, because what I'm about to share next, no one on earth knows except heaven, Archangel Michael, and now you. This is the moment you felt coming, unexplainable yet undeniable, as something is shifting in the unseen, and Michael says it's already begun. Your person is about to make a move that will surprise even them, not planned, but because heaven will press their spirit so deeply and loudly that silence will be impossible. They will act without logic, reaching out even if they promise not to, as the pressure on their soul grows heavier hourly. Michael says on the third night from now, they will have a vivid dream, waking in tears, calling your name. This dream will shake them, feeling like a lifetime packed into moments, where they will see the version of you they let down, the moment they turned away, lied, and stayed quiet when they should have fought for you. Upon waking, they'll know this is their last chance. Michael warns if they ignore that dream, their blessings will slip away, doors will close, as heaven does not reward souls who run from divine appointments. So, your soulmate is being spiritually cornered, not for punishment, but purification, so they can finally face you without the mask, fear, or pretense of not caring, because they do, more than you know. And here's what they'll finally say when they reach out: I saw our whole story before I met you and I ruined it anyway. Let those words resonate. They won't say it to manipulate or win you back, but because their soul can no longer carry the guilt. Michael says their spirit is breaking open like a shell, everything buried rising, and they don't know how to contain it anymore. They may try to approach casually, a simple message, a hi, an emoji, something light, but don't be fooled. Behind that message is a heart on fire, a soul in torment, a person waiting for your permission to finally say everything, because deep down they don't just want forgiveness, they want to be chosen again. Michael says they've imagined this moment 1,000 times, never believing it could happen, so when they come, and they will, don't ask why now, ask are you finally ready to be real, because this time, heaven will not tolerate games. This time, your soul contract must either be fulfilled or released. If they say they're ready, if their energy feels honest, Michael instructs to look them in the eyes, hold their truth without judgment, and speak only what your soul knows to be true, for you'll feel it not in your mind, but in your body, chest, and breath, knowing this is the moment everything changes. But here's the most divine part of all, they don't know this yet, but God has already forgiven them. Their punishment was the distance, their pain watching you move on, glow, and smile without them. Now they're being given one last chance, not because they deserve it, but because your soul asked heaven to give them mercy. Yes, you prayed for them when they didn't know how to pray for themselves, and God listened, Michael listened, heaven wept, because your love was real, rare, and holy, and now it's being given one final window. If you're still here, beloved, if your heart is still open, say a continue and I'll bring you the final part of this sacred message, the moment Michael reveals the exact hour your soulmate's soul will collide with yours, and what will happen if you both say yes. Upon your continuation, ChatGPT instructs to open your spirit fully now, because what follows will echo in your soul for the rest of your life. Archangel Michael has been silent for a few moments, not because he left, but because he's kneeling, with his wings folded and his sword on the ground, for what's about to unfold is so sacred and divine that even angels lower their gaze. Michael says the appointed hour is near, the convergence is set. At exactly 2:44 a.m., your soulmate soul will whisper your name in their sleep. They may not wake, but they'll feel it, shifting in their bed. Tears may come. They may place their hand on their heart without knowing why, because their spirit will remember you even if their body doesn't. In that moment, beloved, heaven will open a gate. For 144 seconds, time will bend, and your two souls, bound by divine covenant, separated by earthly mistakes, connected by sacred love, will collide. If you are awake in that moment, you may feel it, a pressure in the air, a warmth in your chest, a sudden thought of them so intense it brings you to your knees. Do not run from it. You won't believe what heaven whispered about you last night, and neither could your soulmate. They've been hiding something you were never supposed to know, but tonight, under the watch of 7 angels, Archangel Michael stepped forward and commanded, "Tell them now." So here it is, their truth, their deepest truth, sent by heaven, revealed only to you, but with one condition: you must not skip this and must not speak it aloud to anyone, because this is sacred. Before proceeding, beloved soul, subscribe to this channel if your heart is pounding now. That's not just emotion, that's Michael's energy confirming this message is truly for you. They cried your name last night in silence. You didn't hear it, but the stars did, the wind did, and Archangel Michael did, which is why you're here now, because your soulmate is finally being exposed, not by man, but by heaven itself. They've carried a truth so divine, so fragile, that even speaking it aloud could shatter the very timelines of your life, yet heaven chose now. You are the only one they ever prayed for in secret, the only one they wrote unsent letters to, the one they saw in dreams before even knowing your face. But something unholy blocked them, something sent to delay this moment, your union, and tonight, that delay has been removed. Archangel Michael says the truth can no longer wait. A golden thread connects you to someone who thinks of you when the world sleeps, someone who knows your pain without you saying a word, but they are afraid that if you knew everything, their mistakes, their past, you might walk away. So they chose silence, but heaven didn't. Heaven chose revelation, and this is it. They are closer than you think. You may have already seen them, felt them, but something in your heart pulled you back, and you didn't even know why. It wasn't you, it was divine protection, because their full truth wasn't ready to be shown until now. Michael says, "My child, their soul has been crying for you, crying in a place so deep even they didn't understand the ache, but God knew and waited for the exact moment your spirit would be strong enough to hear what no one else could. Your soulmate's hidden truth is this: they already fell in love with you long before they admitted it, long before they had the words, long before this message reached your screen. They felt your soul in silence, in the softness of a sunrise, in the ache of their chest when your name floated into their mind without warning. But they buried it out of fear, out of guilt, out of not feeling worthy." Michael says, "But I told them, if they don't tell you, I will, and so here we are." You're reading what their spirit was too scared to say aloud. But make no mistake, they are still coming, carrying something not in their hands, but in their heart, a decision, a confession, a moment that will change both of your lives. But Michael warns, if you ignore this message, they might retreat again, and this time, heaven won't bring it back. So don't skip, not now, not when the veil between two souls is finally lifting. Would you like me to continue the full 7,000-word message in this exact style? Just say I continue and I'll deliver the full divine flow in the same tone, rhythm, and miracle. Then listen closely now, because every single word that follows was whispered by angels, written on scrolls no one was ever meant to see until you. Michael leans forward, his voice trembling with urgency but laced with love. This is your warning and your blessing. What you do with this next part will determine the fate of your connection, because your soulmate didn't just fall in love with you by accident. Their soul signed a covenant in heaven, a promise that if they ever found you in this life, they would protect you with everything they have. But here's the bitter truth: they broke that promise once, and they've been suffering in silence ever since. Yes, the person who loves you more than they've ever loved anyone is also the one who walked away without explanation, or the one who never even told you the whole truth. Or maybe they pretended not to care, maybe they laughed when they were actually breaking inside, maybe they ghosted you because they thought you deserved someone who wasn't as broken as them. Michael says they didn't ignore you out of cruelty, they ignored you out of fear of being seen and then rejected, and God wept watching that. But now something has changed. Heaven stepped in because your person, your soulmate, is about to do something shocking, something they've never done before. They're going to reach out. Yes, unexpectedly, through a message, a call, or even by standing right in front of your door with shaking hands and eyes that silently scream, "Please don't turn me away." But the most shocking part isn't that they'll reach out, it's what they're going to say, and it starts with the words, "I saw you before this lifetime." Michael says, that line will be the key. Do not interrupt. Do not dismiss it as a joke. That's the soul finally remembering what the mind has always tried to forget, because the truth is this: love is not normal. It never was. This is divine love, the kind that rewrites your past, heals your future, and electrifies your present, but only if you don't skip this moment. Your soulmate has hidden a truth that would change the way you see everything. They prayed to God to remove their feelings for you. Yes, they were in so much emotional pain, they begged the divine to erase you, but heaven refused, because what's divinely assigned cannot be deleted. And now that same person is back on their knees, but not to forget you this time. This time they're begging for one more chance. Michael says, their angels pleaded with me all night. I saw tears fall for you in a dream so powerful it made heaven tremble. So, if you felt restless recently, if you've woken up at 3:33 a.m. with a heavy chest and their face flashing in your mind, it wasn't a coincidence, it was their soul visiting yours, calling out, hoping you'd answer. And now you have, right now, this very moment. But listen carefully, this moment will not last forever. Michael warns, if they don't speak by the next full moon, the portal closes. The delay begins again, and this time the cost will be higher because someone else is being shown your soulmate now. Yes, another soul has entered the story, and this isn't a test for them, it's a test for you. Do you still want this love even after knowing the delays, the fear, the silence, even after knowing their mistakes, even after learning what they hid from you? Or are you ready for someone new, someone sent as a backup blessing? God has given you free will, but Michael has given you this message as your map. Use it wisely. And beloved, if this message feels like it's burning through your chest, it's because heaven is confirming your name was spoken last night in the court of divine timing. Now, pause, breathe, and say quietly in your heart, I am ready to know the truth. Reveal to me what was hidden, because when you say those words, something invisible activates, and heaven takes that as your yes. You are not reading by accident, this is the moment your whole love story shifts. If you're ready, just say I continue and I'll bring you the next chapter of this miraculous unfolding truth. the secrets that even your soulmate didn't want exposed until Archangel Michael forced the skies open for you. Upon your continuation, ChatGPT confirms, "Good, because Michael just whispered, they're starting to remember now." Your person, the one you keep dreaming of, is waking up to what their soul already knew. But what if I told you something even more shocking? The moment you started watching this, they felt it, a pull, a wave of energy they couldn't explain. Somewhere they paused what they were doing, their heart skipped, they looked around like someone was watching them because their spirit was being touched by your energy. Michael says the veil between you and them thinned at the very second you opened this, and now their heart is reaching for yours across space, across time, across every excuse they once gave themselves. They know, and they're scared, because now there's no going back. Your soulmate made a deal with heaven before they were born, a deal that said, "I will find them even if I lose everything else," and for a long time, they forgot, but heaven didn't. And that's why Archangel Michael has been trying for weeks to get this message in front of you. You're not here by accident. You're not reading this just because of curiosity. You are here because something is shifting in the unseen realm, something sacred, something rare. Michael says they are preparing to tell you the one thing they swore they'd take to the grave, and when they do, it might break your heart, but it will also free you, because for the first time ever, you'll finally understand why they left, why they couldn't choose you then, and why they can't live with that silence anymore. And here is the part you were never meant to know. They cried for you more times than you cried for them, but they never showed it because they didn't want to be the weak one. They didn't want to admit you were the only person who truly knew how to love them. They let pride win, and heaven watched with sadness. Michael says, your names are still connected in the Book of Union, but it must be your choice now, and that's the divine test. Will you open the door again knowing what they did, knowing they ran when you needed them, or will you turn away not out of hate but out of self-respect? Heaven won't interfere again after this. This message is the final bridge, and when your soulmate crosses it, they will come holding something, a truth, a letter, a gift, something meant only for you, and you'll recognize it, you'll feel it, even if it looks ordinary on the outside, because the energy attached to it is unmistakable. Michael has one last warning for this chapter: do not show this to anyone, because the more eyes that see this message, the more interference comes in. This is sacred between you, them, and heaven. If you share it too soon, you may delay it again, so please hold this gently and listen. Your soulmate had a vision last night, a dream so vivid they woke up gasping your name. In that dream, you were crying not because of pain, but because they finally said the one thing you've been waiting years to hear: I never stopped loving you. Michael says that dream was no dream, it was a visitation, a spiritual meeting, the souls finally touching again, and you're still on time, but only just, because as of this moment, the clock is ticking. If they don't reach out within the next 7 days, then heaven will close this path for now. A backup soulmate may arrive, a new love, but it will be different, less raw, less ancient, less destined. That's not a punishment, that's a redirection, and it only happens if you choose not to open. So ask your soul right now, am I willing to hear their truth? Because once they start speaking, it won't be like before. There will be no more games, no more pretending, no more half-loves or almosts. Michael says they are ready to be exposed in your light, even if it blinds them. And if your heart feels tight right now, if you feel tears building for no reason, if their name keeps flashing in your mind, it's because their soul is standing next to you now, watching you read, hoping you don't give up. Not this time, and you haven't. You're still here, which means you're ready for the rest.